I want to go to Ted Williams right now, the former D.C. homicide detective, Fox News contributor, lawyer. We've seen it from both sides here. Ted, good to have you. I'm sorry on these, occasions here, but this is a riddle that searches for some sort of a response. The way and the means by which, police apprehended this young man that seemed disproportionate to the charge of erratic or reckless driving. Maybe we'll get the details on that soon enough, but what did you think?
You're absolutely right. It is relatively disproportionate to a reckless driving stop. Neil, reckless driving should never be a death sentence. And when you look at what took place here, these officers approached that car and initially they jerked this man out of the car. And the first thing the man said, "I did not do anything. I didn't do anything." And they beat this man mercifully. I mean, Neil, I played this over in my mind all of last night, and I can tell you the closest this comes to was the Rodney King beating many, many years ago. But, Neil, we expect more of our law enforcement. And I got to tell you, this is the exception, not the norm. The many good men and women who put that uniform and go out here and serve their communities do it in a very professional manner. These officers were rogue officers. They were power-driven. And I got to tell you, Neil, the thing that troubles me is I don't believe that this was the first time that these guys have acted the way they did. They felt very calm in their environment, beating this man the manner in which they did.
Now, in the meantime, Ted, you've probably heard that this unit that these officers came from, not the two that are now being investigated by a neighboring county sheriff, but the 5 involved. They're part of this Scorpion anti-crime unit. And I'm wondering whether it's a different esprit de corps. I know right now the mayor and the police chief have suspended the Scorpion group's operations, but what do you know of it, make of it?
Well, the Scorpion unit came in because crime was off the charts there in Memphis, Tennessee, and it came into being in about October of 2021. And what you had was a lot of officers who had some experience on the street assigned to this unit. But what has happened, unfortunately, Neil, and it has happened all over the country, is that the experienced officers have left these various units and they've left it to some inexperienced officers. Now, I'm not saying these officers were inexperienced. These officers clearly, they were ranged in their 20s to in their 30s. So they had some, at least 5 years of experience on the police force. This Scorpion unit was something that was needed, but at this stage, I think it needs to be disbanded, and I would hope that at some stage they'll put another unit in place.
Ted, one of the first things that came up, even from Benjamin Crump, the lawyer for the family of Tyree, is that, quote, "We have never seen swift justice like this," referring to the almost immediate firing of the 5 officers involved. And then, of course, these charges against them all the way up to second-degree murder, which could land all of these guys in prison for the rest of their lives if found guilty. So he said that that was instrumental in getting ahead of something that could have resulted in a much more violent reaction. Do you agree with that? Do you think that the reaction we got, which was relatively calm, some incidents in New York, stomping on police vehicles and the like, was because local authorities got ahead of it?
Well, they did get in front of it. Ben Crump is a personal friend of mine, Neil, and I can tell you that the Memphis citizens and the lawmakers there, they got very much in front. They were proactive rather than being reactive. But this cannot happen. I would hope that at some stage that this would be somewhat of a blueprint for the rest of the country. But because you have unions, because you have certain rules and regulations in these various cities around the country, this may or may not be able to be put into place. But I think the fact that they were proactive, and the citizens of of Memphis, as well as the citizens around the country, saw that they were trying to do something there in Memphis, I think it helped to quell riots perhaps around this country.
Yeah, and let's hope it stays that way. Some protests and demonstrations are still being planned, as you know, Ted, for this day and this weekend. We'll keep an eye on that, and we'll be talking to you a little later in the show. Ted, in the meantime, thank you.